stop the flow of energy between us. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure for me to talk to you about what it is change. I heard this morning, and change comes in many different formats, not necessarily through counseling, through a process, but you need to do it. You need to do it for many reasons. Women are the foundation of the family, are the foundation of the world. We are the ones that bring children to this world. We are the ones that take most of the responsibility. For some reason, we were made to believe that men were the stronger ones. They're not. And that is something that we can prove over and over. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, we are the ones that hold the weight. So because we do that, we need to learn how to become stronger and how to use our resources. I want you to think about your internal dialogue. I'm going to talk about essentials for change. There's many ways to reach that. But one of the most important is, what do you say about yourself? Who are you? And unfortunately, who are you was not a decision that you made. That information was given to you at times in our lives that we were fully dependent on other people. We never questioned. When somebody said, you amount to nothing, you're stupid, I didn't want to have you, you're worthless, you don't know how to read, you don't know how to learn. We don't question those. The time that we receive information is long and it's given to us and no responsibility for us to change it. We can only change it when we own our brain. And many of that information is what I call dysfunctional. And we live it every day. And that's the ceiling. That's what the speaker this morning talk about the top. We top ourselves the most. And we stop our energy. We stop believing in ourselves. You could be your worst enemy. And generally we are. So what we do in counseling, in motivation, in trying to change people is trying to open that ceiling. That you didn't create it, somebody else did. Intentionally or not, but it was created for you. And that ceiling is the one that limits you right now. Unfortunately, as counselors, as psychologists, we try to undo what it was done to us in our process of living. We don't have another way to say it. And we don't have another way to say it because that is the information that we're using every single minute of our lives. You're not conscious about it. If somebody says, I want to bring up the best people in the room, some of us will stand up and go, and some of us will still sitting in our chairs. We respond to that information. We live with that information. So opening up to a change comes from the idea there's something better that I have to give, and that's the discovery. We talk about mentoring. We talk about guiding knowledge. For me, knowledge is power. We have a brain that has been programmed over time. And we usually think that we are our brain, and we never look at the information that's inside. Think about, you need to learn to use your brain. You need to learn when to use your emotion. You need to learn when to respond at different levels. You are not as reactive. You are a responsive person. And that response comes, what about me first? When you learn to use your brain, what information I am going to own, what information I need to change, that is opening your path. We all have a path. We like it or not. But if you're not enjoying yours, you haven't found what is for you. And we talk about passion, we talk about entrepreneur, we talk about whatever it is, being a mom, being a friend, being a coworker. If you're not enjoying your life as it is in those areas, there's something that you need to find. And it is your responsibility to find it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. If you want to be healthy, no matter how much money you have, you can't pay somebody else to do it for you. If you want to lose weight, no matter how much money you have, you can't pay somebody to do the exercises for you. So it's time for you. It's time for you. It's time for you to take 100% responsibility of your life, 100%. That leaves nothing And 100% means I'm going to look and search for my journey and my happiness, because you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your community. For me, for people to learn that in whatever circumstance they could be business women, mothers, uncles, aunties, whatever it is, you need to find that. Because as you find it, you're helping our society and the world to be a better place. Because we are the ones that are bringing the next generation. So that's our journey in Foundation of Me, trying to find that for everyone. And when you are doing the right thing, you're going to have children and babies. They don't have to fix themselves 20 years later. They don't get to feel the limitations that we feel because we didn't do it right. And I've stopped thinking, I have a great partner. I'm not against men, but I stopped thinking this is a man's job to do that. It's not. Take that out of your mind. That's one of the beliefs that is not going to help you. You take the full responsibility and you create what you want in your life. If you find a partner, great. If you don't have a partner, it's okay. But the finding is you need to do it for yourself, because we are the ones that are going to feed it to our children. So taking 100% responsibility. And the minute that you say, well, I'm this way because my father used to be alcoholic, or my mother used to hit me, or my mother never was there. That's, when you're an adult, that things are in your memory. You have to think about, I have them, but it's not important anymore. If I take full responsibility, and I wasn't nurtured when I was growing up, I'm going to do it to myself. And I need to be able, when you don't have that for yourself, you can't give it to somebody else. If you don't love yourself, you can't give love to somebody else. So who you are will affect how you relate to people, how you create your environment, how you give to the community, how you give to yourself. In a business, it's the same thing. Being successful in a business, and being a mother, and being a friend, has to do with how do I appreciate and love myself first. And I always say it's not a selfish way. Because when you're full, imagine you're well. If you're full, everybody can drink from you. Everybody can take from you. But when you're empty, people is taking away and you're depleting yourself. You're depleting to a point that there's a point that you can no longer give to others, and yourself, you go down. So 100% responsibility. Where do we start? When people say, where do I start my change? Start by understanding how your belief system about who you are, it was created for you. As I mentioned to you, you have no responsibility for that, but you do have the responsibility to change that for yourself. And we have the power to do it because our brain is plastic. It's called self-directed neuroplasticity. If we have information that is not working for me, it's stopping me, it's putting me down, it doesn't allow me to enter into business, it doesn't allow me to be the mom that I want to be, or I'm very stuck in my depression, I'm very stuck in being stressed out all the time, think about what is the belief that I have that I need to change about who I am. So that is wired into your brain. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So when that information is, I'm reinforcing that information every single day. So when I encounter, that's what I need to change. You create another belief and then you start reinforcing the new one. It doesn't take a long time, but it takes work. So you become your own project. And as you become your own project, find anybody that can help you, can help you. It could be a coach, it could be an energy, whatever you think is going to help you to open up yourself to yourself. That's number one. The responsibility that we have with women, it's amazing. Own it, take it, and go with that responsibility to all aspects of your life. And when you take your path, whatever that is, start doing it. You know what? Because you have the rest of your life to be you. Nobody tells you, this is done and your goal is going to finish in 3 months and you have to do that. We do that all the time. I got a goal that I didn't meet, I failed. There's no such a thing of failure. There's a lesson to be learned. And all of us have lessons that we have learned. When you look at your life back, think about what I have learned in times that have been difficult for me. talked about women going through a divorce, going through a loss of a child, or not having a child. There's lessons to be learned. Listen. Listen carefully, because you have your path in front of you, but you need to find it, and you need to nurture it, you need to create it. And the most important thing, we all need to help each other. Because when you come to life with fear, when you come to life thinking, I'm less than, you can never be fully up. You can never be full potential. But when you find to a place like this, and you find women that we're all doing the same thing, we're all breathing the same air, why don't we help each other to get a better world? And that was the intention that we had when we created our society. We need to do something, because politics is not going to change our world. Politicians or people that speak about it, we need to do it one at a time. And it has been done for the longest time. And we're going to continue to do it. And I'm so glad to find people that are in the same mission that we are. So we're all working toward the same. We need to find our first coherence. What is coherence for me? When I'm thinking something, my body's taking that, I'm acting on it, I'm feeling that. That's when you find yourself, you wake up in the morning, you have a lot of challenges, but you feel, I'm ready, I'm okay, I'm going to go for it. It's my time. How long it's going to take you, it doesn't matter. When you're in your path, that's where you're living your life, whatever that life is for you. Could be a businesswoman, could be both. And remember, when you pick a goal, whatever that goal, pick it with a high intention. High intention means I'm on for it, I'm going to work for it because I'm worth it, and low attachment. If that goal cannot be fulfilled tomorrow because something happened here that is important, you've checked it. So you go, attend when you need to attend. Let's say I want to go back to school and I have everything ready, I've been working on saving money, and all of a sudden my son is sick. So I'm going to go to school, I'm going to be resenting, what do I do? Leave that goal on the side and go to where you're called for it. And we all know exactly what we're called for it. But the most important call is you. What are you stopping? How are you stopping yourself? And you know that what you're doing today is not fulfilling you. How do we find that for me? Living in what we call positive feeling, it really affects you at a cellular level. We have 50 trillion cells. By every thought, by every behavior, by every action that we do, those 50 trillion cells have been affected. We're a petri dish. And we know that cells in a negative environment will decay, will destroy, will become sick. Cells in a positive environment will flourish. We know that by research. Take it. Own the knowledge. So for me, learning what it is my life and learning how to make it better, not in a selfish way, allows me to be able to share with more people, to be part of this community and to be part of the best community that we can create. So take 100% ownership with that. We know that the best way to start creating change is thinking differently. Somebody quoted that you can't solve the problem, how you create it. So you got to change your mind about who you are. That's number one. The minute that you change your mind about who you are, the chemistry that was working there start working differently. You start feeling different. You start thinking different, and you start emotionally reacting differently. Nobody else can make you feel sad, stupid, down, up. You do. You do. So when somebody affects you in any way, it's because there's something in you that believes that person is right. So the minute that you get the knowledge, why would I get affected if somebody didn't pay attention to me? Or why did I get affected because somebody did something? There's something in me that I need to change. Start rewiring. It's very empowering process. It's possible, and it's not what people say, this is the way I am, this is my personality, this is the way I was born. No. A personality is your personal reality. You created it. And you created it because you accepted the information that you receive all the time. I'm not able, I'm not capable, I'm stupid. I hear those comments over and over and over. I can't learn. And a lot of the time, it's people that wanted to protect us. They love us so much, they don't want it to risk, they don't want it to experience. Make sure that you're going to do that as a mom all the time, or as a grandma. But make sure that that person has the opportunity to taste what is their full potential means and how you're going to help them to develop. And if you can't, find somebody that can help you. Find somebody that can work for you and can develop those skills that you need. Because we can change, and we start by changing our mind about who we are. When you do that, it triggers immediately a different process. Remember, when you read a book, when you think about something, and you start creating a new path, that path is a new information, is bringing new neuronal cells in your brain, and you're creating a new path. And the path that you had before, if you take ownership of this new one, start decreasing their power. They don't have the same involvement. When somebody said, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so depressed because I lost my husband 20 years ago, they're still driving the same path. Let it go. Create a new one because we can do it. And the minute that we do, we trigger a whole set of information, but make the decision to do it. And the minute that you do, everything else falls into place. So many little things that we need to remember. Start looking at your self-talk. And that self-talk, remember, 60,000 thoughts a day. Today, 60,000 tomorrow, 60,000 the day after, up until the day you die. The thought never stops, and they're feeding you every minute. And you don't know that they're feeding you. You're acting on it. Think about that. And then when you do that, then start creating. What is it for me? What do I want? And never stop asking, what do I want? It doesn't matter how I'm going to get there, but the minute that you start asking, what do I want, you start finding ways to get there. Create a vision. We talked about visualizing what you want to be. It doesn't matter that it has to be done in a certain way. If you close your eyes and you see yourself, create the vision, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm loving. I have nothing that is stopping me to follow my dream, whatever those dreams are. So that's where we start, with our foundation, where we stand as an individual. And as we all look for the same, good feelings are universal. In my practice of 30 years, I've never had somebody come and say, Dr. Estay, I want to learn how to be more stressed, I want to have more depression, and I want to really experience panic attack. I really 0, 100% come. I want to feel loved. I want to feel cared. I want to develop a nurse. I want to have friends. I don't want to feel lonely. That was part of my life. In my book, what I learned in my life, it didn't come from my PhD. It came from my experience. And that's what's going to give you the tools for your next step in the next few years. Thank you.